Hey guys, welcome to Integration TV, the only television network that gives you the Somali diaspora experience. All week, you guys have been watching amazing talent, which I call the future of Somali creativity. The poets in the West, the nation of poets, Somali youth in the diaspora, sharing our stories from the heart and their experiences and giving us an opportunity to have a new narrative. So I want to welcome back Ahmed Knowmadic and Zeinab Aidid back to the show, guys. I know you guys kind of interviewed yourselves. That was kind of cool to see two poets kind of talking to each other and I guess kind of sharing similar experience. Now, for me being an outsider, of course, everybody has different creative ways of being. What I believe is giving a platform to young people to share their creativity. Now, Zainab, what do you think about Ahmed's creativity?
You know what?
On blast.
Ahmed has been in the game a little bit longer than I have, so he's definitely somebody that I admire, and I'm so happy to have had this experience meeting him and talking to him and getting to sit down with him. So it was really great for me.
So basically, like when we had you on the show, like we had Ahmed on the show last year, it was kind of cool. We did like a Skype interview that was really fun. And then I had you at Muslim Fest where I did like interviewed you. You did a special poem for us. And I think everyone, like, here I am, probably like we're two different generations. You know, I grew up in a different era than you. And I share that similar experience because I predominantly am a product of this society. And when you did that Truth Is poem, that really spoke to me because I think the truth is we were never allowed as Somalis in this part of the world to be ourselves. And do people share that with you all the time?
I think that I've gotten a lot of really amazing feedback from that poem, and I'm so happy that people heard something that they can resonate with in it. And there's a lot going on in that poem, so I think that a lot of people take bits and pieces that apply to their lives. So I'm so happy that you liked it.
I did. And you know, like everybody knows that I'm writing my book, and I've asked Zainab if I could use that as my beginning intro because I think really what you said in there is really the pain that we feel as Somalis in the West. You know, a lot of times we are different kind of people. Like I went back to Somalia and I can tell you, like, I'm not like Somali people back home. And I'm not like Adam people in America, in Canada or America. So we have our own unique identity. Can you speak to that, Ahmed, a little bit? Do we need Dakan Alice?
Oh, yeah. I'm an in-betweener.
Or are
you know
we
what I mean?
the new
It's like,
Dakan Alice? Do people need to become like us?
you know, it's challenging to really, you know what I mean, and capture really quick. Honestly, new cultures evolve all the time. Somalia is what it is because it was allowed to flourish in its own sense. I think it's important to know where we came from, but at the same time, try to adapt to where we are. There's a lot of great going on here in this community. So Dakan Alice is important because then, like I was saying earlier, Bob Marley says the best, how do you know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from, right? It's valuable to know it in that sense, but create your new. Make something brand new that is you, bring it to this country, and remember that you are Canadian as well, right? I think that's very valuable and very important.
But I think what's happened is that, like, a lot of times we've gotten a bad rep because we are a product of the West and still have our Somali Nimo. So should people become like us where we don't have any filters when it comes to like the stuff that destroyed our nation, you know, like tribalism and things like that? Like, I don't think that's important to us as this generation of Somalis. So like, are we maybe the better generation people should emulate? Should they become Dakan Alice with us? Like, you know, are we the future?
Should we teach them? Like, we can all learn from each other. Like, we have our own problems, right? Like, I think especially with the Somali youth, like the males, there's a lot of lack of identity. There's identity crisis going on. There's a lot of like criminal activity involved. In all honesty, the sisters are holding it down when it comes to education and community involvement. Like, no, it's the truth, right?
It's true.
No, they're holding it down. So in that sense, Dakan Alice would be important for those youth because I think they need to recognize, like, hey, yeah, life is difficult here. The streets are difficult.
How do we
here,
get
but
more young men involved to come back to the Somali culture in the West?
in due process in time, once we realize with the youth, I think it was the one thing I felt is there was an intergenerational gap. The parents came here, they're working hard. The youth that grew up here were the first generations that grew up here. Their parents weren't around as much, they were working. There was a lot of influences from the external community. There's a lot of things. I think once these youth grew up, they have an understanding where they're gonna put their kids in. For example, for myself, I grew up, my parents were gone to work and my mom struggled and stuff like that. We were from welfare and stuff. But now my daughter, I'm reading to her at 3 months of age. So these are the things that matter, right? It's for us to change it. So in due time, in process, it will change. You know what I mean? It will evolve. So inshallah, in due time. We could always try to force the youth, but our job is to lay a blueprint for them to build themselves. Inshallah, as long as we're emulating by doing poetry, by doing your TV, I think we'll continue to expand that. And inshallah, that will change in due time.
Zeinab, do you believe when we know better, we do better?
Oh, 100%. I even think that the most important thing for youth right now is something to keep them busy, something they like to do, because that can make a world of a difference. And also for people like us to mentor young people, to take other people under our wing, to just be a role model. And that's so important. And we see that in other communities, and we need to do that for ourselves.
Absolutely. Do you think that we should kind of tell the Somali critics who like criticize your work a lot? Because sometimes, you know, as young people, you guys are probably very fragile when it comes to like, sometimes this is your work is personal, right? You want acceptance. But a lot of times I find our community, we're so good on social media, guys, but we can be a little bit harsh on people that are creative. So what would you tell people out there that send you those other inboxes from Facebook? The one that you can ignore, you know?
Yeah, I would just say, if what I'm doing isn't hurting you, why are you trying to hurt me?
Yes.
And so I'll never understand why people say mean things to other people. I can never understand that. And I just assume it comes from some other darkness.
Well, hurt people, right?
That is very true. That's the most real statement I've ever
Yeah,
And so I just think that if people have their own thing going on, they would never do that to other people. And so just, you know, do your own thing. Don't worry about other people.
Find other ways to deal with your upset natures rather than...
Like get a life?
Write a poem, matter of fact.
Exactly. Write a poem.
Yeah, and get a life.
Write a poem and get a life.
Yeah, if you're sitting here and typing, oh, I can't stand you, hold on. Okay, you need to get a life. Because why bother somebody else's life? Like, who really cares? I don't pay your bills. You don't pay my bills.
Nope.
Like, come on, guys. Let's just move on. If you don't like something on anybody's channel, why are you watching it? You must like something about it.
Unsubscribe.
You know what they say though? Time is money, right? Yes. So if you're spending your time on somebody, then you're technically paying attention to somebody.
Yeah.
So
In that case, stay on,
so
guys.
thank you.
Subscribe.
Subscribe more
All
and
the
hate.
haters, please stay
subscribe
on.
and subscribe more and keep
Don't
hating
worry,
because
haters are still views.
and not only that, haters bring more views. Matter of fact, right?
It's
So
true.
keep on hating. Can I
You
get
know
some
what?
haters?
I can't imagine you guys having any haters. I think you guys are the movement of the future. This is cultural shift that's happening in our community, and young people like Zeinab and Ahmed are that shift. And I think the more we continue the positivity and encouraging new voices and not just the toxic negative stuff, I think inshallah we're going to move forward as a community. And I'm proud that Zeinab, Ahmed, I know you can't be with us because you're going to be teaching at a camp in somewhere in the suburb of Calgary.
Yeah.
So we're gonna miss you this year, but inshallah next year when it's
Inshallah.
bigger and better,
Inshallah.
we're gonna have you back for Integration Fest Part 2.
Inshallah.
But Part 1 this year, Zeinab Aidid is gonna be one of our featured poets at Integration Fest happening in Toronto, July 23rd. And don't miss it. If you live in Toronto and you're always complaining, the youth, you know what? You need to come and support the youth. Youth like Zeinab who want to show their talent to the world. They want to share their art. And also women like Nkrumah, who's like a legend in our country, who's going to be teaching Zeinab some Somali poems. How amazing is that? So we need to really step up for our youth. And so I hope that you guys can take part of Integration Fest in Toronto, July 23rd. It's a Saturday night. If you're used to going out, this time bring your kids with you, okay? Because I know those ladies in Somali culture, they go out at night. And they haflat beten, like a big party. And they leave the kids. This time, we want you to bring your kids between the ages of 8 and up. Bring them. Show them Somali culture. Show them our dhaqan. Show them who we are, the beauty of our culture, the way we dress, the way we dance, the way we have fun and share stories. And they get to meet other Somalis in the community who are doing good things. And this kind of creates a positive energy flow. Don't you think, Zeinab?
Totally.
We've had too many bad apples spoiling the good, so we need to bring out the good. So inshallah, we hope to see you guys. And I want to thank you both for joining me today.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your gifts.
Thank you very
and
much.
And continue.
Always.
Ignore the haters. There's no haters.
Yeah.
There's no haters, right?
No.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me at Integration TV, where we discover talent that is changing our culture and moving us forward in a new era of creativity. Integration TV. Talk to you soon.